that he was just there and nobody questioned him being there. He said it's like he said, somebody would come in, they'd introduce him and say, yeah, he's been here for quite a while. They didn't really know what he was doing there, but they just accepted that he was part of the filter center. So he got to get UFO cases. If you go to the UFO evidence, I think it's in there. So he was an inside job guy, getting some of these reports that were being sent from the various ground observers to the filter center. So he was. He got in, and that was long before NICAP. That was it was in the early, mid-50s. Let's put it that way. And
we're going to be doing Who's Who now on the one where Berliner shows up on Northern Ontario UFO Research and Study. Now, does your name come up, or do you like the way they're doing their research and study? Northern Ontario.
That's Michael. Good grief.
Well, your picture's on here for the United States.
I know.
Along
it's
with
Michael.
Kenneth Arnold.
Michael. I'm going to get his name wrong. I'm just having a blank. Michael.
You want me to?
So,
you want me to look it up?
Yeah. So he was one of the early contributors to my effort.
Oh, really?
So when I was going around, I met him in Ontario with I'm having Earl Bruce Knapp.
Yeah, Bruce Knapp.
And Earl Bruce Knapp was he ran the UFO updates email list, and they had about 1,000 people on it.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
Send stuff in all the time. But Michael went ahead and he helped me with gathering Canadian reports. And he's got, like I said, he's got his own website now. Like I said, as I was going around the country, I didn't necessarily just go to libraries too. I visited ufologists, and they let me look at their collections. So I visited Chris Rakowski in Manitoba, and I visited people all around the country when I was doing the Project 1947. I visited people at different places, and of course, one of the places is Walt Andrews let me look at the MUFON files, and that's when they were in Texas. Seguin, Texas, and he let me come for an afternoon on Sunday, and I didn't know it till after I get ready to leave that he was going to go somewhere with his wife and go to a dinner or something, and he didn't say anything. He said, "Come on over," and so he let me sit there until I looked through. Well, I was mainly looking for 1947, but I told him I'll look from everything from before 1947 up to 1950. And he said, that's fine. He said, my arrangement is by states. So each state had a filing cabinet or a filing drawer, depending on how many sightings they had. And since MUFON was founded in 1969, they didn't have very many early sightings like I was looking for. So I was able to do that in a couple hours, and then I left. I got ready to leave, and then I really was embarrassed because he and his wife they were just waiting around for me to leave so they could go to this dinner. But he was really nice about it. So, and of course I went to Dick Hall's house and saw his material and various people that had been in ufology for a while. And I'm sorry to say some of their material is just missing now. Louis Parrish in Arkansas, he had 2 barns full of UFO files, and he had a lot of early material before 1947. And when he passed away, almost none of that was salvageable. They'd been out there in the barns, got wet, got dirty. It was like big bricks of black stuff all held together with dirt and bird feces and things like that. So I think the amount that Dave Mahler salvaged was only about 2 filing drawers. So that's a real tragedy there. And like I said, I visited people all over the country. And some were no longer in ufology, but they let me look at their material.
Well, this young man, Michael Deschamps, or Deschamps, however you say it.
Yeah, Michael Deschamps. That's it. See, I keep wanting to say Dassault because I know a Dassault up there. Yeah, Michael Deschamps. He was, he and Earl Bruce Knapp, and I think we met 3 or 4 other people up there. And so I've got it in my notebook somewhere, but...
Okay, so you agree that his are pretty substantial, and would you agree that I should include those? Would you agree that I should include his link, like yours, in our UFO Association, bringing all the different links together?
Okay. He has some excellent things there.
Okay, well he'll be.
He helped me with Canadian government material too. He had done a lot of research. So he's a good
guy. He's a good guy, right? Awesome. Yeah. Good. Well, I look forward. I may have talked to him before. I don't really remember. So he's going to be one of our Who's Who people. So anybody that's got a really good sharing open source like for people. Now, some of them still have membership, right? But right now we don't. You and I don't. But we're doing oral archives like your group you recommended. But he has published material and letters to the editor, newspaper interviews, television interviews, and then he links them. So we'll do our best, folks. I've only got Janet and Suzanne and what websites we've got, but we're looking at scientists, UFOs, pilots, cops, saucers, and Suzanne's brought to the table one of the old 30-year-old police officer or officer. We're going to get them all together, folks. We're going to do our best with Ace Folklife and have different divisions. So Northern Ontario UFO Research Study. Now, do they affiliate with you personally or with CUFOS and MUFON? How do you guys interplay in UFO research?
Well,
and study?
Everybody
just helps.
Yeah, I don't have 300 people. I started off, and people. I got together with the people in Italy and France, Spain, United Kingdom, and even Iran. We had a fellow on there from Iran for a while. It was a pretty lively thing, but email gives way to other things. So then there's other interests, and people lose interest for a time, or they may just leave the field altogether. So I'm still in contact with Michael, but we don't really do that much anymore. I look at his site. If you look at his site, that's what I was doing. more or less.
Okay, well, I'll just
you can
put
see all
you're
kinds
helping
of
us.
newspapers from northern Ontario that he's collected. He and I did the same kind of thing, although I tried to do it all over the United States and Canada. He's doing it mostly for the Ontario. So we're kindred spirits, let's put it that way. And he was helping me understand some of the Canadian history there. So he's sending me things from the archives and commenting on them. And he does have, I think he was writing a book. I'm not sure if he ever published it. But I had Don Ledger in Nova Scotia, and he just maritime UFOs. He published a book on UFOs in his area, and he was, of course, very big in the investigation of Shag Harbor, which is still ongoing.
So apparently it's still who's doing what project are by location, and we're just going to have to train all the new people, the new kids coming in, how it's done. And I do know MUFON does offer training, but pretty much now, is this what you understand, that MUFON is still the largest organization in the world that is a nonprofit worldwide, internationally? Is that what you understand among all these groups?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't think there's any other large, serious organization the size of MUFON.
All right. So
they've got a huge amount of investigations that have been done, over 100,000. So, and they have also acquired people's and organizations' files as people quit or pass away. So they have a huge amount of material. They have some of Stringfield's work, and this is just like kind of NICAP and CUFOS. And the CUFOS project was, for a while there, MUFON was going to do it, and they were going to do it with a professional company. However, there's problems with that. You get dedicated amateurs who want to make the best images they can. Maybe their labor doesn't cost anything, so maybe that's a little better than a company that's going to cost $15,000 to $25,000 to scan all these reports.
Scanning reports. If we give them box loads, that's like what I used to do for the government. Sit at a table all day and scan in under a Kodak Zap microfiche all day. That wasn't a lot of fun, and then you have to change out the Kodak film. But nowadays, we'll be scanning it like you do banking things, I guess, in the Internet, so we got to have our scanners. Now, how are we going to get this all done? Because, tonight is about the world view. So, and you of all people are the best ones, since you've already done this with Robert Bigelow and other groups and taken on a global scale.
Yeah, well, let's not get confused here. I've never had any. I never met Robert Bigelow, and we haven't had any real interaction together. And
he's Mr. Bucks, and I guess he can only help so much.
But the Bucks came through the UFO Research Coalition. It didn't come directly from him.
UFO Research Coalition. So he just somehow worked out with himself and his money in a grant or giving amount
went to the UFO Research Coalition was a non-profit, so